What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Tim, back with another video, back with another live stream, just getting things together. Let me first off say, folks, I am overwhelmed by the amount of the people already here. I am overwhelmed by the amount of people already in the chat, already watching, already waiting. That was huge to me. Thank y'all. It is such a blessing to see y'all. If it seems like I'm still kind of getting things together, it's because I at around 2:30, I said I'm gonna take a little nap. Just lay down, just to get ready for the stream. About 2:46, I was like, "Ooh, I gotta get up." So I had to hurry up and get up and handle a little business. We are here, though. We are here. Day two, ladies and gentlemen, of our hashtag 1 week with Ward, 7 live streams in 7 days. Day one is down. We got day one taken care of. It was like a 4-hour stream. We had a lot of fun. A lot of people came through. This is day two. Some of y'all thought I wasn't gonna be here. They said he's not gonna stream 2 days in a row. He's gonna get sidetracked. He's gonna start watching, some Avengers cartoons or something. He's not gonna show up. Some people disappointed I showed up. I seen the numbers drop a little when I came on. Some people like, he's here. I gotta go. No, we're back. We are here. Hello, everyone. A lot of people saying hello in the chat. Can't get to everybody, but hello. Warms my heart to have y'all here. We're up to almost like 75 people. Ain't been talking for about 2 minutes. I'm feeling the love, ladies and gentlemen. Sending it right back to you. Today, I figured, I got up last night and this morning. I was like, what do we want to talk about today? Because I want to make these streams interesting. I got to do 7 of them in a row. Well, I'm going to do 7 of them in a row. I don't have to. I was like, I want to make them interesting. So someone in the comments recently, a new subscriber, and welcome to all the new subscribers. The usual suspects, love y'all too, but welcome to all the new people. People are new to the journey, the channel, the community. Someone had mentioned, they were like, Tim, they said I'm new here, and you talk a lot about like 2014 on, but they were like, what was your story before that? So I was like, you know what? I kind of want to break down today. Never thought I'd be saying this, on the internet and that people would care, but I think going to break down today kind of my adult life and what led up to, the changes I kind of made, 2014, my mid-30s, kind of get into that. But yeah, I don't really talk about the years. I mean, I talk a little bit about my 20s, stuff like that, but maybe for some people who haven't heard it, and maybe some things will come up that I haven't really talked about before, but that's what we're going to talk about today. And of course, folks, if you have any ideas for things you ever want to hear, but especially this week, please let me know. Leave in the comments, message me. My social medias should be in the description box below. But yeah, today I figured that would be interesting for what's today, Monday? For a Monday afternoon, evening stream. Talk a little about, what led up to me waking up and changing my life. And then we'll go, near the end, maybe, of course, we always hit the Q&A. That's the staple, folks. But until then, I probably won't be in the chat that much while I'm kind of doing my spiel in the beginning. One of my favorite words in life, spiel. I don't know how to spell it. If there's something you just got to interject in the conversation, there is the super chat. That's all I'm going to say about that. I feel like we got 124 people. I think we have enough people to get started. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I was raised a little different than a lot of people. I've said many times, no shame. I was raised Joe's Witness. And so I was raised a little different than a lot of people. I credit my upbringing. I've always said I would never change that. I'm no longer a part of that organization, but I have nothing to say about it. The only reason I bring it up now is to say that I was always raised to kind of like question things and realize that the societal norm might not be right for you. Okay, I was always raised to realize that, like, just because everyone around you acts, behaves, believes a certain way doesn't mean you have to. Does not make them wrong, but it may not be right for you. So you got to figure out for yourself. So 18, was I 18? I think when I graduated. And because my parents believed the way they did not push me to go to college. And some of these things don't seem big until you're looking at them in hindsight. My parents never pushed me to go to college. So that was another thing that, like, if I had been in a different upbringing, if I had parents that have pushed me in the college direction, might not be the person I am today. So my parents were basically like, I mean, honestly, the one of my parents who's still heavy in the church and religion would have preferred me to take a very religious path. But beyond that, they were kind of like, just when you leave the house, you can't come back. Find a way. Like, they weren't anti-college, but they weren't pro-college. So it was just like, whatever you decide to do to, like, pay the bills, when you figure that out and you move out, well, hopefully that'll pay the bills. Okay, figure out a way to pay the bill. We really don't care. And that is actually a blessing, because I know a lot of people, that is one of the areas and the time periods where they really, get influenced by people other than themselves. That 17, 18, 19, you got teachers, you got guidance counselors, you got parents, you got older brothers and sisters, you got aunties, you got random people on the subway, everybody trying to push you like on a certain path. I still had the teachers and the guidance counselors and random people, but because of the way my parents had raised me and the fact that I'm very stubborn, let's put that out there. I'm very stubborn, and I had decided I ain't trying to go to college. Now, once again, I'm not college bashing here, folks. This is just my story. It says it in the title, my story. I'm not college bashing. I just decided I don't want to go to school no more. I did not like school. I ain't trying to see these people every day. It's been 12 years. Kindergarten. Did I go to kindergarten? 13 years. I've been in the school thing. I'm not cool. I'm not popular. It wasn't until like my last 2 years, my junior and senior years, that I actually really had any clout or whatever, because I was an upperclassman, and then I got a car. So I realized that like the underclassmen chicks thought that was cool. That was the first time in like my whole school career I ever, felt like somebody. I didn't like it. I didn't go to graduation. I didn't go to prom. I didn't even pay my senior dues. I didn't even get a yearbook. I didn't want nothing to do with nothing school. So I said, I'm definitely not signing up for 4 more years of this, and I have to pay. Now, I did get a scholarship. I was in Georgia, so I got the Hope Scholarship. I did that on purpose. There was 3 sets of diplomas you could get: your basic, your academic, and then your advanced academic. And I said, I'm not getting the advanced academic. I could have. My guidance counselor was always, Tim, if you just do this and do that, you get that advanced academic diploma. Then you got this scholarship that will set you up. I said, no. For my mom, I'm going to get the middle scholarship, the middle diploma. You know what I mean? I said, I'm not going to be, if, you know what I mean? I wanted to show I was doing something in school. I said, I know moms would like it if I got kind of not just the basic diploma, but the next one up. So I did just enough to get that academic diploma. A little up from basic. Did that for you, moms. It's up to me. I would have dropped out at about 13, got a GED. Anyway, so, once again, guidance counselor, teachers pressuring me, school, but my parents were like, we don't care. So I was up in there, very stubborn. Like, when I say I did just enough to get that diploma I wanted, I literally did just enough. Like, I did the math and I figured out what classes I need to get what. And I literally, y'all think I'm joking. I literally, if it said I needed to pass this class with a 70, I got a 70. Like, if I knew that all I had to do was take the test to get a 70, all I did was take the test. Or when my grade got high enough that I knew I could not do anything else the rest of the year, I did not do anything else the rest of the year. Like, my teachers were so mad at me because I spent a lot of time, because I was vocal with it. Tim, you're not going to do the test? Nope, don't need to. Only need a 75. Tim, you're not going to take the final? Nope, don't need to. Don't need to pass this class. I was crazy with it. But anyway, so I got out of high school, decent high school GPA, got the diploma I wanted. Have not thought about any of that since. And since I wasn't going to college, I got in the work study program and just kind of started working. And I had no concept at like 8. I've never been a long-term thinker. So I had no concept of career. My first job, I think in my senior year, I was in work study. So I left school at like noon, and mom came and picked me up. Parents have always been very supportive. My mom came and picked me up. And then I think she took me home, and then at like 3 o'clock, she came back home, picked me up, and took me to work. Very supportive. 2 trips out of her day. And, mom didn't work. She was doing her spiritual ministry, so she kind of had the time, but it still took time out of her day. So I worked at a plant nursery. And so I worked there for a while, and then I kind of fell into mowing grass, lawn care, landscaping. One of my managers at the nursery ended up starting his own business. We were really, really, really good friends. I had worked with him at a couple different stores. I was like his right-hand man. Anywhere he went, I went with him. So took me, he started his own business. I went with him. And then that was kind of my career, I guess, for many, many years. I had little jobs in between. Sometimes I would quit doing the lawn care stuff. I worked at UPS. I worked at a couple other little places, but in a couple different cities. The mowing grass is what I did, and it kind of became excuse me. It kind of became my career. And I never really decided on it. I guess because I wasn't going the college career path. I was just kind of living day to day, and I learned I could make decent money mowing grass. I learned early on, find a career, find a job. This is the way I looked at it. Find a job nobody else wants to do, and you'll always have a job. Nobody wants to, you'll notice. I mowed grass. Nobody wants to mow grass. Later in life, I've been cleaning hotel rooms. Nobody wants to do that. Find a job nobody else wants to do. You'll always have a job. So that was kind of my career, was mowing grass. And I got good enough, and I started being a foreman. I ended up, the last time I did it, and this was right before I kind of transitioned in life to a different life. Well, I probably was working for we had to have been definitely top 5. One of the top 5 biggest lawn care companies in the city I was living in. I was living in Gainesville, Florida at the time, and I was the number 2 guy. I was the number 2 guy. So, and this was the only boss I ever had who asked me, how much money do you want to make? When it was time for my raise, he was like, it's time for your raise. I want to be fair. He's like, I've been doing some figuring. He's like, but I want to know, what do you want to make? Like, what do you think is fair? He's like, we'll figure it out. And I went home, and, he's like, don't answer now, go home. Went home and came back with a number, and he said, yes, immediately. And it was a good number. And he said, yes, immediately. So I knew I'd messed up. Because he was like, once you say a number, that's it, if I agree to it. And he agreed to it way too quick. I say it all to say, I was making good money. By this time, I spent a lot of my 20s. My 20s were really working and like partying on the weekends. Sometimes partying during the week and missing work. But my 20s were really just like working, partying on the weekends. There was no foresight beyond that. That was all I wanted to do. I've always been a hard worker, always liked working. Especially, I've been blessed to have good bosses throughout my working career. But it was just like, you work, the weekend comes around, you pay your bills, you buy groceries, you blow the rest at the bar. Hopefully you get to push up on something nice, one of those nights during the weekend, and then it starts all over. Like that was my life in my 20s. And there was a lot of, pain and suffering brought on by the drinking. Was I addicted to alcohol? Definitely, so there was that struggle all through my 20s. But I mean, I had a lot of fun, and I think maybe I don't talk about those years so much is because it wasn't a lot going on. Like it was more of the same. Like we just worked really hard, and then we partied really hard. And then we recuperated, and hopefully, and did it again. Some nights we ended up in the hospital with alcohol poisoning. Some nights we ended up in jail. So, but we always got back to work. You know what I mean? And then that was the goal. There was really no thought of anything past next Friday. Just never been a long-term thinker. Sometimes I look like you don't think about what you're not, especially at that age. You just do what you do, right? And so sometimes I look back and I can identify certain things that like help me later in life. And we'll tie that back in. So yeah, that was my life. That was my 20s, and a lot of my early 30s. It just, when I got kind of in my 30s, my body made me slow down on the partying. A, and you get a little older, and when you've done something for so long, it starts to not be as exciting. Partying is all kinds of fun, but you've done it. You know what I mean? I've seen this movie. I've seen this movie every weekend for 10 plus years. Like it just again is what is fun. So I kind of moved into an apartment by myself and just kind of all my friends were in another city. Every now and then I might meet somebody or go downtown. But I started to really do a lot more sitting at home. This is when I started doing stuff like dumpster diving, selling on eBay, just getting into some other things. YouTube started to become a bigger part of my life. I was getting more serious about like comic book reviews and all those things like that. I was a heavy comic book collector. I just kind of settled down. And it was a good life. It was like the quote says on the thumbnail, it was a good life. But as I started to settle down and as I started to just like do more, I wouldn't even call it research because I wasn't researching anything. Like in order to research something, you kind of have to know, I want to research this. But I found myself just like drawn towards different things on the internet, specifically YouTube. I found myself just like watching, a lot of this like tiny house stuff. Like, where does that even come from? I don't even know how that popped up in my feed. I'm pretty sure I never like searched for it. Somehow it came up and I just found myself just probably around 2013, somewhere in there, just being fascinated by like people living in tiny houses. And, that moves on to like, okay, there were some people, living in vans, people living without money, just all these ideals of I realize now, just like a simpler life. That's what really started to like fascinate me. And I really found myself coming home. And back then there wasn't as much on the internet as there is now, but there was still some. And it was so like exciting to me because I'm like, if you've never heard of people living in these small, tiny houses, or you never heard of people just like hitchhiking around the country with no money, or you never heard of someone who like lives in their vehicle by choice, it just like blows your mind. Like, what is this? Tammy Strobel was one that was her. I think her husband's name's Logan. She wrote a book, You Can Buy Happiness and It's Free. She lived in tiny houses and I bought the book and she's one of the first people that I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. And then what is it? Kirsten Dunst? She still makes videos, but she started to this day, she does videos of people, I think it's faircompanies.com, of people just living simpler and having these alternative lives, different dwellings and different way they lived. And I'm just eating it all up. And it was somewhere around this time where I noticed that all these people who I was fascinated by, who were now the people that like, I could not wait to come home from work. And, I started wanting to come home from work and like tap into them. It wasn't about, I still was drinking, but you know what I mean? I was the one to tap into this. Well, I was excited for a new like video on something along those lines. So I noticed almost to a woman, almost to a man, every one of them said something about minimalism. Even if a couple of them said, well, I wouldn't call myself a minimalist, but I had to throw away a bunch of stuff to live in my Subaru. All of them mentioned this minimalism thing. And I'm like, what is this? So I started looking into that. And once again, there weren't a ton of videos on it, but there were some people talking about it. And this is why I'm big on sharing my stories online. Because it was other people sharing their stories that really prompted me to start changing my life and really made me believe I could. Because I know if I hadn't seen all this stuff on YouTube, nobody in my life was talking minimalism, simple living. Nobody I came in contact with on a regular basis was talking that. Everybody in my life. I appreciate y'all hitting the like button. We're up to 100 likes. Thank y'all. Like nobody in my regular circle was doing that. I would have never come across this type of stuff, I don't think, or it would have been years in the future. So that's why I'm big on like, even if I'm like, I don't even know if anyone will care about this, I put my stuff out there because I know it can like help. So the more I start thinking about minimalism or seeing videos about it, the more I'm like, I want to try it. I want to try this. This ideal, like everybody seems so happy. Like I've learned over the years to kind of gauge who's a real person online. Sometimes it takes a while. And then like, some people fake happiness, for the gram or I don't even think Instagram was around back then. Maybe it was. But I realized, I was like, these people seem genuinely happy. Like, they writing books about it. They doing multiple videos about it. Like, these people seem genuinely happy, even when they discuss like their problems. There's a level of acceptance and happiness in it. I'm like, and all of them talk about this minimalism thing. I got to give it a try. And around this time, as I mentioned earlier, I was doing a lot of dumpster diving. So I had an apartment living room full of just like stuff I was selling on eBay. I was doing good. I was averaging probably $500 to $600 a month selling stuff on eBay that I got out the dumpster. $500 to $600 a month in the good months, which the good months were the months when the kids were, the school year was over and the kids were like throwing all kinds of stuff away, because I worked downtown by the University of Florida. Go Gators. So when the kids were throwing stuff away, I would just load it up in the living room, and then I could take my time selling it. So in the good months, what would that be, like May, June, July? I think that's when school's out. I'm just piling stuff up. So I'm making good money. But the downside of that is every day when you come home, you come in the door tired and sweaty and sticky from mowing grass in the Florida heat. And instead of being able to just relax in your living room, there's stuff everywhere, black trash bags everywhere, and clothes and dresses and shoes and electronics and books and ties. And so, it's just, and you're immediately hit with, oh, I got to do some more work. I got to put some stuff on eBay, or I got to, take some stuff to the post office, which I love going to the post office. I love putting stuff on eBay, but it was just the weight of all that stuff. The weight of all that stuff was hitting me. And so when I decided I wanted to do this minimalism thing, one of the first things I did was just get rid of a lot of that stuff. I donated bags and bags and bags of that stuff to the Goodwill. I gave my ex-girlfriend all these clothes that she ended up throwing away, which I don't blame her. It didn't fit her in the way she knew. I threw away tons of trips to the dumpster. I put tons of stuff out by the road. Like, I just got rid of it. Where before I couldn't do that because I would always be like, oh, this is money. But once I was like, Tim, you're on this new path, just get rid of this stuff. It's almost like a game. I'm trying this new minimalism thing out. And I remember the first day, I'll never forget this. The first day I came home after work and I got rid of everything in my living room, I didn't remember. Like you'll do something, like I do this all the time, when I cut my hair. Like I'll forget I cut my hair, especially if it's been a while. And then I'll look in the mirror and I'm like, ooh, looking good with that haircut. Okay. So I forgot that I was doing this. Long day at work, I come home and I remember that first day I opened the door and there was nothing in my living room. And it just looked so clean and so open. And I was just like, oh, it was just like a moment at the door. I'm like, wow, like the lights coming in behind me from the door, hitting the couch. Ooh, it was one of the moments. I'm like, wow, I'm like, oh, yes. I get it. And so from there, I just went from area to area, closet to closet, drawer to drawer, room to room, getting rid of stuff. The major thing was getting rid of my comic book collection. But I took that in stages. I got rid of the semi-expensive books because I knew I could sell them. I sold them. I knew I could sell them, get some money, that money coming in. It felt good to have money in the bank account. There were some things I needed to do I've been putting off. I didn't have the money, like going to the dentist. That's when I started going back to the dentist. I had teeth needed to get pulled. I took that money from that, started doing that. Then I got rid of a lot of the cheap books I couldn't sell, put them out by the road. I hung on to the really key, $75 to $200 books. I hung on to them for a while, but slowly started to get rid of them because a lot of them meant a lot to me. A lot of them, I remember the work that went into being able to purchase them. I was making decent money at the time, but to spend $250 on a comic book, big deal. Big deal. I think my entire existence on this planet, $250 on a comic book will be a big deal. So in some instances, it was like, yeah, I can get money back for this, but I remember the 2-3 weeks of the month I was saving up to get this, and it meant something to me. But eventually, even those books I got rid of, and most of them I got rid of it kind of not all of them, but some of them I got rid of at a loss because I took them down to the comic book shop because I wanted someone. If I sold them on eBay, someone was going to get them who, sits on eBay all day like me. some other, comic book nerd collector. I wanted to take them to my local comic book shop so that someone could walk in and my guy there could be like, hey, Bill, I got a Batman 20, what was it? What was it, Batman 26? The Batman 26 here. Check it out. I just wanted to kind of give that to my local community. So I sold them at a loss, but it was still cool. That was one of the harder things to do. But the rest of it just kind of, if there's ever any resistance, I just held on to something. People ask me that all the time, like, hey, I really don't want to get rid of this. Don't get rid of it. If there's any resistance to anything, I just held on to it. And then I would circle back to it a month later. And a lot of times, I don't know why this is, but a lot of times the resistance was gone. I'm like, man, I can't really get rid of that. And a month later I come back and I'm like, get rid of it. It was almost like just taking that 2 weeks, that month, and just kind of thinking about it. I don't know. It was weird. Almost every single thing that I had resistance to, if I waited and came back to it, the resistance was gone. Or I had a plan of action. So I had some things that sentimental value. I had some letters that had been sent to me, across the world. It's a big thing for someone to mail your letter at all these days, but for someone to mail it from Sweden, big deal. But things like that, I took pictures of it. I realized I was attached to the memory. The memory was never going to go anywhere. Take pictures of it. I can read it whenever I want to. The physical letter, you don't need to have it. And other, physical gifts of that nature, you can take pictures of them. You realize you're attached to the memory. The memory is always there. You're attached to the moments you share with that person. Those aren't going anywhere. But you just no longer have, I just couldn't hang on to the stuff anymore. So anyway, minimalism. I'm coming home now and my living room is empty. My bedroom is pretty empty. Kind of looks like my bedroom now. And I think prompted by seeing so many other people living these interesting lives, seeing so many people living lives that are different, got me thinking along those lines. Samuel, thank you. Samuel, I appreciate that. Super Chat Squad. Samuel Divers coming through. Said great, informative videos. Thank you, Samuel. I appreciate the support. Glad you like the videos. You're getting some out of them. Infotainment is what we do here, folks. And information and entertainment. We marry the two. Thank you, Samuel. I really appreciate that. I think it was the combination of seeing people living these interesting lives and also just, minimalism I had more money in the bank. I wasn't stressing about possessions. I also wasn't buying as much stuff anymore. So I just really remember one day being like, hey, I don't really have to work like I'm working. I was like, man, I'm actually ahead. I always had a few dollars in the bank, but I'm like, man, I'm actually ahead, And then I was like, I remember once again, I was like, I got a good life, I got a good life, especially now. But it just wasn't. I remember one day just laying on the couch, another one of those days I won't forget. I was just like, this isn't what I want to do. It's a good life. It's a good life. But I'm like, it's not what I want to do. Right? I'm like, I don't want to just keep doing this. Getting up, going to work, come home. I wasn't, partying and stuff, but I was drinking myself to sleep on them tall boy bush lights every night. I'm like, yeah, I love my Chinese restaurant I go to every day, pretty much. I love getting my bush lights from the place next door, coming home, watching my YouTube, drinking myself to sleep. It was cool. I loved it. But I didn't love it. You know what I mean? It was cool, but I'm like, I don't want this to be the end of the story. And I feel like a lot of times we think that consciously, subconsciously, and then it's like, well, but what can you do about it? We've all heard people say that. Yeah, but what can you do about it? But this was the first time another voice came up and was like, well, what do you want to do? It wasn't, what can you do about it? It was like, well, what can you do about it? You know what I mean? It wasn't like, well, what can you do about it? It was, what can you do about it? And I'm like, yeah, what do I want to do? I don't have to keep doing this. I was like, I got no attachments. I think I might have been dating, or my relationship might have already ended. I had a relationship somewhere in this time that lasted for, about 4 or 5 years. Screwed that up, drinking. cheated, drunk one night, cheated, screwed that up. Me and her remained friends. So that's why the dates are weird, because I don't know when it officially ended, because after a while we were hanging out like we used to. We just weren't together because I'd screwed it up. So, she was still in my life, but I knew even that would peter out. In the back of your mind, like one day she's gonna find somebody else to actually date, and us still hanging out and being friends is gonna go away. So I was like, I was free. I had the job, but I had left that job and come back several times. Wasn't a big deal. Had the apartment. I knew the lease was going to be up in the next year, or I could sublease it. My car. It was kind of that weird. It was a $500 car, and I already had it for like 2 years. That's not a big deal. That's not a keeper. So there was really nothing keeping me where I was at or doing what I was doing. No kids, no wife. There was nothing keeping me. And before, I think my possessions and my stuff was keeping me. My financial situation was keeping me. Not even that so much as I think my stuff just had, what I mean? This is just what you do. I think a lot of people are there in life. And so something that popped in my head when I was like, well, what can we do? What do you want to do? Was travel. The thing that popped in my head was travel. I was like, I feel like I've always wanted to travel. And I say I feel like I've always wanted to travel because I don't think it ever really had been a burning desire. I think it had been smoldering in my subconscious. Like I had gone to North Dakota a few years earlier, worked on the oil rigs for about a month and came back, and that was super cool. Hey, Myra, thank you. Myra, thank you so much. Super Chat Squad said, thank you for making videos. You inspire me so much. Last day at work is next Friday. Yes, and you are welcome, Myra. I appreciate the support. I'm glad the videos can be an inspiration, and I'm super glad about next Friday. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing, and I appreciate the support. Thank you. So, yeah, I had fun. Good luck. Yes, I had fun doing that little travel, even though it was on Greyhound, being in North Dakota for about a month. But when I got back, it wasn't like I was like, ooh, I got to go somewhere else. It just never was a burning desire. But somehow at that moment in my life, I was like, I've always wanted to travel. Then I was like, well, I don't really got no money. Like I had some dollars saved up, but it wasn't nothing substantial. It was more than usual, but it was nothing substantial. I said, well, I've been getting success with this whole Google YouTube thing. Let me type it in. Beauty of the day and age we live in. I know a lot of times we talk dirty and look down on social media and the internet, but one of the beauties of it is you can type almost anything in and hundreds of thousands of answers will pop up. Some of them worthless, but there'll be a few, diamonds sprinkled in amongst the coal, right? And so, yeah, when you type in, especially back then, how to travel, no money, you ran into a lot of people. Like back then, really, it was only like the travel bloggers, kind of talking about travel. And a lot of them were like, I started out with only $20,000 and look at me traveling. It's like, come on, like, your first trip was like a month in Spain. That's a little different than what I'm trying to do here. $20,000, I might have $1,000. You know what I mean? Like, so, but I was able to sift through that and actually found some people who were, traveling inexpensively, maybe some around the area I was thinking about. I always will give props to a guy named Wayne. His channel was The Real Wayne's World. I need to check and see if he's still on the internet, but he was doing like van dwelling. He'd done a thing where he was just like on a motorcycle for a while. I think he did a boat for a while. He was always doing like low cost. I think he was like older and retired. So he was always doing things low cost. And I appreciated that. And he was the one who mentioned seasonal work. He was the one that mentioned seasonal work, and that like has been a game changer, life changer to me. The R Hodge Experience, Super Chat Squad, thank you. The R Hodge Experience has great content. Your boldness to just be yourself inspired me to start my channel and start living and being more of myself. Thank you, brother. You're welcome. Congratulations on the channel. I'm gonna get over there and check that out. Actually, I think I did. I think I watched one of your videos the other day. I think I watched one of your videos and you'd mentioned me. Yeah. I think, yeah. I was like, I know that name sounds familiar. I was watching one of your videos the other day, man. Hey, shout out to you. I appreciate that look. Hey, man. And thank you. Super Chat Squad. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Thank you. Check out the R Hodge Experience. Y'all get a chance, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, I discovered seasonal work. That was a game changer. So this guy Wayne, he mentioned a website called like Cool Jobs, and I think it might have been something he threw together, honestly, or not, but it was kind of basic. And I was like, this ain't, because he had mentioned he'd been working in Yellowstone. And he was like, I'll never forget the words he said. Like this time period, like I don't remember a lot of things in my life because I was drunk out my mind. I remember some things in this time period because they affected me so much. He was like, because he talks about working in a national park. And I was like, man, that sounds cool, but I can never do that. Like, it's all that government paperwork, blah, 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 blah. But I kept watching the video and he was like, I know you think it's harder than it seems. He's like, it's not though. He's like, I really just filled out like an application and they called me. He's like, it's not an intense government job screening process or whatever you think. He's like, just try it. So I was like, okay. So I went to the website he recommended. It was kind of crappy, let's be honest. So I Googled once again websites like Cool Jobs or whatever he told me to go through. And Cool Works popped up. And this looked nice. This looked good. This was a real website. So I went to like national park jobs in there and tons of national parks hiring. So I applied for like 4 or 5 national parks, Yellowstone and some other ones. And honestly, it was kind of one of those, I'm going to try this out, but I really don't expect anything to come of it. There's lots of things on the internet you try out. I'm like, this guy tried it. He said it, Okay. I saw it. I saw some percentage signs. What are we talking about over here? And so I really didn't expect anything to come of it, right? Really expect anything to come of it. Okay, I got to address this real quick. I'm sorry. This one real quick. Then we're gonna get back to what we're saying. I always have to address this when it comes up in the chat, and I say it for the algorithm's sake. Yeah, YouTube does take a portion of the donations, but I don't think that's a problem because they provide the platform. So I always have to weigh in on that real quick. It does not bother me in the slightest bit. Without YouTube, I wouldn't be able to live the life I'm living. So if they need a few coins to keep the website going, I think we all, just the stuff I was saying earlier, I've benefited so much from YouTube in my life. They can take their coins. I'm still happy with it. It don't bother me slightest bit. Because without them, 2 websites without I wouldn't be who I am. YouTube and Cool Works. So yeah, I don't mind them taking a little percentage. Speaking of which, Jennifer, thank you. Speaking of which, Jennifer came through Super Chat Squad to inspire me to get a new job. Thanks, Tim. You are welcome. That is awesome, Jennifer. Good luck. I feel blessed to be able to throw in a little inspiration your way, and good luck on the new job. And we got Joseph coming through. We got the super chat train. We got the super chat train coming through. Love y'all. Thank y'all. Joseph said, "Get your coins, YouTube. Get your coins, YouTube. Hey. Me and the two making money together." Thank y'all so much. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Jennifer. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Super Chat Squad, Super Chat train. So, did not expect the national park jobs to call me back. And I applied for jobs like grounds crew and other things I knew how to do. I think I might even apply to maintenance because I'd done a little light maintenance at places. Done a few things. In amongst mowing grass, I've done some other things like roof, because a lot of times in Florida in the wintertime, the grass doesn't grow. Well, it never grows. So we would have to do things like roofing and renovating houses in the wintertime. So I've done a few things. So those are the things I applied for and kind of forgot about it. I think I told my ex-girlfriend about it and she was kind of like, this guy, these weird ideas, but she knows me, whatever. And then one day they all started hitting me back up. I think Yellowstone was first. And then there was another one. And, I'd never in my life had 3 or 4 potential interviews. You might apply for a job, get 1 interview. Or you apply for 20 jobs, get 1 interview. So I never had 4 places wanting to interview me. And I actually took 2 interviews, I think. And I took all the interviews, I think. And I accepted 2 jobs. I accepted Yellowstone. And then the next place called me and it sounded so good, I accepted that too. So that was this has happened many other times in my seasonal work career. But that was the first time it happened. So now I'm going back and forth. I'm like, where do I go? What do I do? And, my ex-girlfriend, she's like, just pick one. She's very one of the things I always appreciated about her, nothing rattles her. If it does, she vents for a little bit and she's fine. She's like, everything works out. She's like, just pick one. I'm like, you don't understand. Yellowstone. She's like, just pick one. Which she was like always right. So I ended up going to Yellowstone. I'm like, I've heard of that. You know, it's world famous. And you got to think too, I'm kind of a little nervous because I'm like, I'm going to be traveling to the part of Yellowstone I worked up, ended up being in Wyoming. Yellowstone's in Wyoming and Montana and Idaho, I think. But I'm like, I'm going to be traveling to Wyoming to work. Like, I'm trying to figure out which company I trust more. But how do you trust a company that all you ever has a phone interview? They send you a couple of emails and there's a phone interview. And if you ever applied, like with seasonal companies try their best to try to make you feel, at home and to not be worried coming out there. But they do it all the time. So a lot of time, the people in HR at a seasonal job, this is what they do. So a lot of times, through no fault of their own, they may not be reassuring you the way you needed to be reassured about coming out there because it's old news to them. Zandra, thank you. Super chat squad, super chat train. Thank you, Zandra. Choo choo. Thank you, Zandra. I appreciate that. Said train. I love this chat, man. Hey, it's good to hear. I was like, I'm gonna be talking about my life. I don't know if people are going, but good to hear. That's awesome, Zandra. I appreciate the support and the love. Thank you so much. Sending that love right back to you. Real quick. Black girl magic. Okay. You can only see the top. I had to give y'all the whole samurai sister Amazon. So sometimes it's I'm talking, like I kept calling up there and asking them questions. I know they got tired of me. I kept calling and emailing and asking these questions, but I was nervous. I'm going halfway across the country to work for this company. All I know is email and phone. I haven't seen a human being. Not to mention, once I decided I was going to go, because I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do it. That was the thing too. Am I even going to do it? I accepted going to Yellowstone. Then it's like, am I going to do it? And once again, my ex-girlfriend was a big help. She's, you want to do it? Do it. She's like, we're broke up. We're friends. I'll be here when you come home. She's do it. And so it was, one day I decided I'm going to do it. And once again, I think it was seeing examples of other people doing stuff. I'm like, I'm going to do it. It's crazy. Everybody I told about it was kind of like, people don't, because my friends know I'm a little off or, always just kind of did my own thing. But, they're okay. This is Tim's new idea. And I know some of them thought I wasn't going to go through with it or I'd be back home immediately. But I started putting in the work, sold my car, actually got a scooter, which I ended up selling later, a couple years later. But sold the car, subleased the apartment. That was the one that was really like, oh, this is real. Because before it was like, I got a place to stay till my lease is up. I can always renew it. When I subleased the apartment, some new girl was moving in. Oh, now it's real. Like, because I decided January 1st, 2015, I was going to start, I was going to sublease my apartment. I didn't leave to go to Yellowstone until May. But I went and did this thing called woofing, which is worldwide working on organic farms. I went and worked you work for room and board on an organic farm. Not the best experience, so I don't talk about it much. But I did that, and then I went and stayed with my buddy Ray for a little bit, stayed with my ex-girlfriend for a little bit, because I really wanted to, spend some time with these people who were in Florida before I left, So, but yeah, once I subleased the apartment, and I remember those last few weeks before January 1st, I remember some days like, Tim, what are you doing? Like, you got your life set up here. Why are you risking all this? And I kept going back to, yeah, it's a good life, but it's not what I want. And I realized, I was like, even if it messes up, even if I get to Wyoming, I get to Yellowstone, and this company Xanterra, which I'd read had horrible reviews online. They still do, but they're a good company. I'm like, even if Xanterra turns out to be the worst company and I got to come back, it'll be an adventure. I hadn't had really an adventure in years. You know what I mean? Like I was like, it'll be an adventure. I was like building my life back from zero because I'll have no apartment, I'll have no car, I'll have no job. Building my life back from zero will be an adventure. My life now is cool, but it's not adventurous. What was it Helen Keller said? Life is daring adventure or nothing at all. One of my favorite quotes in life. Life is a daring adventure or nothing at all. I was like, that would be an adventure. I know I'm 35 years old, embarking on a new chapter in life, going to a national park to make $8.50 an hour. People think it's crazy, but it was something I wanted to do. And that was a lesson I learned. Your life doesn't have to make sense to other people. Your dream life does not have to make sense to other people. That was the first time I really saw that. Your dream life doesn't have to make sense to other people. It just has to make sense to you. It just has to speak to you. It just has to resonate with you. And for some reason, going in, and oh yeah, I'd apply for grounds, but they said, no, we can't do that. I'm gonna put you in housekeeping. We're gonna put you in housekeeping. Because then I freaked out. Because like, I don't even know how to make a bed. And my ex-girlfriend was like, they'll teach you how to do it. Tell them, like, they're gonna train you. Stop. Like I was freaking out. I don't even know how to make it. She's like, I know you don't know how to make a bed, but they will teach you. Joseph coming through again. Thank you. Super chat squad, super chat train. Joseph L says either let me fly or give me death. DMX. Yes. Darkman X. A lot of good quotes from the Dark Man if you go through his catalog of music. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate the support. Thank you. So yeah, they told us gonna be a housekeeper. So yeah, I'm leaving a good job, nice apartment, an apartment that I really wasn't qualified to get in. My boss at the time talked to the property manager because we did a lot of work for them. Actually, we mowed the complex, got me in this nice apartment in a nicer part of town than I probably could have afforded. You're giving all that up? Yeah, it was only a $500 car, but it ran. You're giving all that up to go make $850 at a national park, scrubbing toilets, making beds? Yes, because it spoke to me. And can't none of y'all keep me from doing it. So we went, and the day came. Took the Greyhound up, up to Bozeman. 3 days on the Greyhound. That is a trip, ladies and gentlemen. If you have never been on the Greyhound bus or never been on the Greyhound bus longer than 2-3 hours, 3 days is a trip. 72 hours, ladies and gentlemen. That's some hard travel. But we got there. And I shouldn't have to say this, but I admit when the bus came to pick us up to take us to Yellowstone, and I saw that there was a couple other black dudes, a couple other brown-skinned dudes, I breathed another sigh of relief. I was a little nervous. I'd never been that part of the country before. Actually, the hotel I stayed in, when I got to Bozeman, it was actually in Belgrade. In Belgrade, I went on Google Maps, I did Street View, and I went all around the area to make sure I didn't see no signs of we don't want Negroes here. There was nothing like that. It ain't even like that out there. But, I was a little nervous. But this life spoke to me. I'm doing it. The bus came. I seen a couple brothers. I said, okay. There was also a guy with the 24-pack of, I don't know, weird. Everybody else was putting luggage under the bus. This dude put a 24-pack of beer under the bus. But at the time, I was like, okay, we're going to have fun. Long story longer, Yellowstone was great. Yellowstone was amazing. Like day one when I got there and we started doing our, checking us in, all the people in the HR were super nice. It was, a bus holds like 50 people, but the process, we went through, we got all this stuff. Everybody was laughing and joking. You're meeting a bus full of 50 people you've never met before. You're in Yellowstone National Park. They gave us free lunch for first day. It was just wonderful. Finally got to the dorms and it's in the park. I was at the Old Faithful location. So you literally, did we see? Yeah, we saw Old Faithful that first day. But yeah, Old Faithful's right there. You're working at I was working at the Old Faithful Inn, this beautiful 100-year-old historic hotel, 100-plus-year-old historic hotel. Just amazing experience. Amazing experience. About a week or two later, all the foreign students came, the international students came. I didn't even know that was a thing. I was tripping on just all the awesome Americans. And then when the Eastern European and the Asian kids start showing up, mind blown. It was just amazing experience. And so most people know the rest of the story. I've been doing that pretty much since then. I don't do seasonal work as much now. I still do it. I was just in the Grand Canyon for about a month, for about 5 weeks, beginning of this year. So, seasonal work is still is definitely still in the bag. It's still in our bag of tricks. But, since then, kind of been doing seasonal work, different places, Glacier right outside Rocky Mountain National Park here in Colorado. Spent a summer in Alaska, which was amazing. met some awesome people there, saw the Northern Lights, all that cool Alaska stuff. Went on whale watching cruises, glaciers, all that cool stuff. Sometimes I forget the stuff I did. Now, someone will mention it, I'll be like, I've done that. I've done that. My friends back home tire of my stories. I don't even tell them no more. When I go home, I do a lot of listening. But yeah, they tire of, me telling, I also been able to travel overseas a few times, and amazing. You if you can, I'm telling you, I said this in 2018, I think I said it. No, 2019. Get your passport while you still can. I'm saying it again. Get your passport while you still can. It opens the world up to you. A lot more places are opening back up now that the vid is on the decline. You ain't got your passport, get it now, ladies and gentlemen. There's something about going to another country and experiencing a different culture that just does something to you. It's hard to explain, but you feel yourself getting wiser and knowing more, interacting with other peoples. A lot of time we've learned a lot of what we're going to learn from our native country. But you go somewhere else, it don't matter how intelligent or smart you are, you in somebody else's backyard, there's a lot to learn just on the street, people watching. So highly recommend getting your passport. Even if you just go down to Mexico. Mexico is safe. It's okay. I've been there. Even if you just go to Mexico, you can learn. So all of those cool things, and hopefully there's years more of cool stuff coming, came from, it started with minimalism, and then the ideal of just hey, what do I want to do? And everybody's dreams are different. Everybody doesn't want to travel. We all have dreams though. We all have a life that will work best for us. And it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to make sense to you. No one else has to agree with you. It helps if you have, someone who agrees with you, or even better, people who don't get it but will support you. I was blessed to have people who didn't get it but supported me. My buddy Ray, gave me $250. I went down there to see him when I was leaving, beginning of 2015. He said, "Hey man, here's $250 just to help out." That brought my grand savings total to $1,250. All I had. And I always say, I think I still got that $1,250 in the bank. Because, seasonal work and going places where they gave me housing, and in Yellowstone, they pay for your meals. They give, not pay for your meals, they give you meals, and it's $10 a day. $300 a month, you get housing and 3 meals a day. That allowed me to save money. And, we all have a life that is the life we want to be living and works best for us. And it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. We just have to be able to figure out what that is and take the leap. Hey, Joey G707, thank you. Super Chat Squad says, "I enjoy your excitement, brother. I'm about to live in a state I've never been to work for. I definitely want my passport stamped by the end of the year." Yes, pound, let's get it. Boom. Boom. My hands actually, no, they got lotion. Boom. Yes, let's do it. About to work in a state you never, go for. Even state to state, you can learn some stuff. And then, yeah, man, get that first stamp on that passport. That first stamp on that passport, man, it's a beautiful thing. So shout out to you, Joey. I appreciate the support. Keep us updated. Yeah, and it comes down to, ladies and gentlemen, taking the leap. Joey's doing it. It comes down to taking the leap. And a lot of times people say, well, how do I get up the courage, the willpower, whatever, to take the leap? You just have to have that moment where it's it's never going to feel like everything's figured out. You're leaving your comfort zone. You're doing something very different, or something different. The more very different, the better, I say. You're doing something very different. It's never going to feel just like your normal life. It's never going to be okay, I'll just go do this. No, it's always going to be I'm about to go do what? And your mind is going to pop up. All these things that don't work out. Something in you just has to say, I'm doing it anyway. Yeah, I know this could happen, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. There's an endless amount of could happens. You know why? Because you're imagining it. So there is an infinite, endless amount of possible things that could happen when you're digging into your imagination. However, in life, there's a very finite amount of things that can happen because you only got so much time on this planet. All the things we dream about that could possibly happen to us cannot happen because we ain't got that much time on the planet, let alone that much time in that situation. All that bad stuff can't happen. One of them might, but you'll get through it. But it comes down to just being like, I'm gonna do it, whatever it is. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I don't care. I'm doing it. That's why I say me being stubborn is always been helpful to me, because like I just whatever, I'm gonna do it, whatever, and y'all not gonna tell me I can't. And I always thank the old Tim for that because like I truly love my life. You know what I mean? It's different. My life was good back then, but it wasn't the life I wanted. My life now is the life I want. Now, we all have times where we have to like pivot and maybe go around the long way to get to where you want to go. Good example of that is, I just moved to this apartment back in, what was it, October. I was trying to get a home base in Denver. Did not work out. Did not work out. I was a little down at the moment, blah, blah, blah. Went through some stuff. When it was time, it worked out. So we all sometimes go through things where, things may not work out, or we might be down, we might be going through something. But like when you're overall living that life that you envisioned, when you said, I want to do that, and then it comes true, man, it's a crazy feeling. Like it is a crazy feeling. And some days I just stop myself and I'm like, bro, like blessed, you know what I mean? Which is another major reason I like, making these videos and these live streams, because I want every single person to have that feeling. And I've talked with people who are there as well, and they're just, they're like, yeah, there's ups and downs, but to be able to be doing what I want to do. And it's possible. Society don't want us to think that. Society wants us to be like, what can you do about it? But there's a lot we can do about it if we're willing to do something about it. There's a lot we can do about it if we're willing to do something about it. It ain't easy. It ain't always easy. But if we can sit down and identify, that's what I want to do. And sometimes there might be things that, I want to do that. You tried it, don't work, but that'll lead you to something else. Like it's not the fun part about life is it is all over the place. You're learning new stuff. You're growing, but all of it, if you just kind of go with it and go for it, I feel like all of it will end up leading you where you need to go if you're willing to like put in the work and like move around. The universe, God, the creator, the source will lead you kind of where you need to go. It may not be a direct trip, but the whole journey is exciting. The whole journey is exciting. And then you'll find yourself in the places you want to be in. Sometimes you'll find yourself in places where like you didn't even envision, but it's like, oh yeah, I can do, wow, yeah. That's what you mean. It's beautiful. So that's why I'm always trying to put this content out there. Cause like, I love when people, get to have that same feeling of just like, I'm alive. Right? I'm alive and like I'm enjoying myself and I'm doing what I want to do, and I don't have to believe what they want me to believe, and I don't have to live the life they want me to live. Like I got choices, I got options, I got freedom. That's the word we've been looking for, ladies and gentlemen. Freedom. I got freedom. It doesn't have to be that way. I know people. I work with a guy. I tell the story a lot. One day at work, I said, man, there's got to be an easier way to make a living. We were picking up trash around apartment buildings, which it was a cool job. I'm not pooping on the job, but we were picking up trash around apartments that we could never afford across the street from the University of Florida. These were college kids who were paying, $3,200 back in 2010 or 2013, 2010, 2012, somewhere in there. We're paying, $3,200 and up for a 4-bedroom. That's a lot of money, even for a 4-bedroom. That was in that area. It was crazy, So you can imagine the type of people who were living in, it was the rich college kids. So a lot of them were the pretty people, So we're picking up trash around, all these hot late teens and 20-somethings. It was not the best job for your egos. Was not the best job for your ego. However, I did learn some of those kids were the nicest people you ever meet. A lot of times we think like rich, especially rich, attractive people are just whatever. Some of them are, but a lot of them were the nicest kids you ever meet. But yeah, it just wasn't the best job for your ego. Some days it was hot. I was out there in my little $500 car doing it. So my hood was bungee strapped down. They almost didn't give me the job because of the car. Because I'd worked there before. It was just like doing grounds. I didn't have a car. When I came back, they were like, this time, Tim, you'll have to have a car. I said, oh, I got a car. And then when they saw it, they were like, because all the people who own the company were rich themselves. It was a big property management company. They almost didn't give me a job. They was like, Tim, they was like, all right, promise us within the next, if we do you right with the salary, with the hourly wage, promise us you'll get a better car within a year or two. And I was like, okay. But I ended up leaving that job. But we're picking up trash, right across the street from University of Florida. Kids everywhere, some of them throwing trash down in front of us. And just one day I was like, there's got to be a better way to make a living. And the guy I was working with, who was a good friend of mine, he was like, yeah, but they don't pay us enough to start our own business. So and you can't start your own business without money. They don't pay us enough to save up to start your own business. So they got us by the balls. What can you do about it? And I just started reading some self-help books, at the time. But a lot back then there was those wealth self-help books, kind of like How to Make $1 Million, those kind of books. But even then I kind of had the mindset of it doesn't have to be this way. And I just was like, you know what? I can't, at that time I hadn't figured out how I was going to do it, but the seeds were getting planted that maybe there was something different. I just could not totally concede, even at that time, that was all there was. It took me a few more years before I figured out my path, but I could not concede that that was it. He's like, yeah, what can you do about it? And, I've gone back to that job, not anytime recently, but before I left. A couple of years after I left that job, I went back and that guy was still there doing the same thing. And, no shade to him. He's taking care of his family. But it's just, I get sad because I'm like, bro, you got potential. I know he has dreams. We work together a lot. I know he has dreams. I know he has things he'd rather do, but he honestly feels like he can't. And I think a lot of people are like that, and I think we're programmed to have a scarcity mindset when we live in an abundant universe. Not only is the universe abundant, we're abundant. I don't think I've ever said that before. Not only is the universe abundant, I'm full of abundance. You're full of abundance. We are abundant. We can create a life for ourselves with the universe itself. We're part of the universe. So if the universe is abundant, we're abundant. And it comes from up here, us thinking and us visualizing. So here's the thing. A lot of times we think about lots of negative things that can happen. And most of them will never happen. And I think sometimes people think, well, hey, sometimes it does. But I think sometimes people are like, man, I think about all this crazy negative stuff and you tell me it's not going to happen. Why is the positive stuff I think about going to happen? You ever looked at it that way? Okay, you up here telling me if I think about this positive stuff, I can make it happen. But then you also told me that I can think and imagine all this negative stuff and it don't happen. What's the difference? Why is the positive stuff I think about going to happen? It's because the action. Because I struggled with that for a while. Long time. I'm like, well, if I can manifest all these good thoughts, why ain't I going to manifest all these bad thoughts? But I realize it's the action. We think about a lot of bad stuff that could possibly happen, but none of us take action for the bad stuff, typically. If nothing else, we keep from taking action because we're scared of the bad stuff. But if we think about and try to manifest good things and we take action, that's when I think the universe, God, the source, creator, whatever it is, kicks in and helps out. It's the action. And we help ourselves out taking action. But it is the action that separates the two thoughts and makes the good stuff actually start happening. Because you think about it, and then you start working towards it. I mean, I just look at it this way. Imagine a lot of y'all are parents, some of us aren't. But even I think about, say, my nieces or nephews, or some of the younger people in my life that I consider, brothers and sisters. I consider them brothers and sisters. My little bro, my little sis. If you're a parent, if your child is they really want to do something and you see them working towards it, you will help them out. Sometimes, parents will sacrifice what they got going on because they see their child. Oh, I know my child really wanted to go on that senior trip. and she's gotten good grades all throughout high school. I know she really wants to go on that trip. We really don't have the money for it. But I see how hard she's been working on her grades. She picked up a part-time job. She's like $500 short to go. I really, I got my little savings over here, but I was saving that for that. But she's working so hard. It'll be worth it for me to take $500 of my money, give it to her, let her go on that trip. As opposed to, your son who just sat on the couch and text females all day and, did whatever. Hey, Pop, I can go on that senior trip. Nah, I ain't got it. You didn't get a job. You could have got a job, save some money, you didn't do nothing. No, I'm not going to help you. I still love you, but I'm not going to help you out. So I think the universe is set up that same way. If we decide, hey, I want to try to do this, and we're going after it, and we're trying to do it, the universe comes along and helps us out. But if we're just sitting back, I can never, it's like, nah, I'm not putting none of my energies towards you. You don't even believe it. You're not even trying. That's another thing too. Belief is great, but it's not even necessary. You can be like, I don't really know if I think this is going to work out, but I'm going to try. But I want it to, so I'm going to try. And that which is, the power that is, I think sees that as like, you know what? Going to help you out in ways that we never imagined. Like, it's just, that's from like, Mel Robbins said the other day, dream with the lid off. I was listening to Gary Vee this morning, and he was saying that, like, people tell you you will run into people who tell you not to dream too big. You don't want to dream too big. You don't want to be disappointed. Nah, dream bigger, bro. Dream as big as you want. Like, what? It's my life. I'm only here for, 80, 90, 100 years. Why would you possibly tell anyone to dream smaller? Like, if they dream big and it doesn't come true, so what? It's their dream. It's their dream. If somebody sits around and like it worries all the time, people will entertain it. No matter how much they worry, people will entertain and talk about it. You can go to work and be like, man, I'm worried that the economy's going to do this and this going to do this, this going to do this. And people sit there, eat it up. Yeah, girl. Yeah. I feel you, bro. But if you start dreaming on that level, people want to shut you down. Nah, that can't happen. They don't even want to talk about it. They'll talk about it. They'll talk about the negative all day, but you start getting positive, start saying, I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to, nah, they try to shut you down. Nah, dream with the lid off. Dream with the lid off. And then you can figure out how to do it your way. I think another thing, we all do is you can be inspired by someone or someone's example, but that doesn't mean you have to do it their way. You'll find your way to do it. We all find our own way to do it. And even that doesn't, even other people who get us or might even do what we do, our way of doing it doesn't have to make sense to them. Someone goes, I love what you're doing. You ever tried? Nope, I'm going to do it this way. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody but us. Sometimes it doesn't even make sense to us. It just works. It ain't even got to make sense to me or you. It just has to work. And I tell you, you start let go, you start unlearning a lot of this stuff society taught you, and you start really getting selfish. It's not bad to be selfish on some areas. Self-centered, okay, but selfish, no. So I can do better helping everybody in this world, everybody around me and in this world, if I'm doing better. If I take some time and work on me, then I can do better for everyone. If I hadn't taken the time and gotten sober, if I don't get my mind right, I don't get sober, I don't start doing what I want to do in life, I can't do as well for others. So sometimes you got to get selfish, get your thing going. And then you can do better. You can go back to the giving. Or, you can be giving the whole time and helping the whole time. But sometimes you gotta, this is a bit much. Okay. That's a bit much. That's a lot of emojis. We got to put a stop to that. Sometimes you gotta be selfish. What do I want to do? What would make me happy? What would make me happy? You gotta help yourself first sometimes. Yeah. And I think a lot of times we don't really, it's like we're all about doing like superficial stuff for ourselves. We'll buy ourselves a nice outfit. We'll think about going to the gym. Like when it comes to like physical stuff for ourselves, like we're all into that type of stuff. Oh, I'll work hard to try to get me a Mercedes. Now, there's anything wrong with any of that. But I think like the superficial, showy stuff, we like work really, we don't mind being selfish about. If it'll look good on the gram, oh, we'll get real selfish. But as far as like because that's kind of self-centered. But as far as the real self-work and the real like, let me see if I can get to know myself. Let me figure out what I want to do. Let me figure out what would make me genuinely happy. A lot of that work we don't do. Maybe because that work takes like soul searching and like it ain't quick. You can quickly be like, yeah, man, I want that new S class. How much is it? $50,000. Okay, how much would that be a month? Like you can do the math on that quick. That's a quick dream. But as far as like, you can't quick dream what your dream life would look like. You got to actually get in there and figure some stuff out, do the work. That takes a while. I think maybe that's it too. You know, we don't want to put that time in. We just want them quick dreams. But those quick dreams aren't you. Those quick dreams are just something that an advertiser was smart enough to throw on the screen in front of you. You're not going to see an advertisement that says, hey, Tim, wouldn't you like to do this? You mean like you're never going to see an ad on TV for what you would really is uniquely the life you want because no one else can know it for you but you. But it's a beautiful thing when you stumble across it. Beautiful thing when you stumble across it. And it's a process, you know, but the whole journey is fun overall. I mean, there's ups and downs, yes. But like the journey, you know, when life becomes like a journey and you're just, you know, constantly trying new stuff and doing new, like it's amazing, man. It's amazing. So I wanted to share that story, kind of take it from the beginning, you know, and just kind of run up to where I'm at now. Because, yeah, I think some of that beginning stuff I don't tell a lot. Some of the middle stuff I tell constantly. People are like, we didn't heard that. But, you know, I just like to tell it. You know, I'm nothing. And I like telling my story because, like, I'm nobody special. You know, if you put down my life, you know, if I was doing a speech and they read my bio, it's nothing groundbreaking in it. It's nothing people would be like, oh, let me listen to him. All I got is like I'm living the life I want to live and I'm happy. That's all I got. But I think that's all it takes. That might not impress a room full of people, but it impresses me every morning. Like I'm like, thank you, Tim, in 2015, and Tim all the way up until now. Like all I got is like I'm living my dream life and I'm happy. Like that's all I got. I think that's all you really need. Like you don't have to have stuff that, once again, it doesn't have to make sense to other people. Other people don't have to see it. Other people don't have to get it. They could look at your life and be like, I think your life has gotten worse. But you might know, like, nah, I'm way happier. I'm way better. I'm up, you know? So that's why I like telling my story, because there's nothing really in it that, you know, whatever. But, you know, I like to think you can look in my face and see, like, that dude is happy. That dude is happy. he ain't got much else going for him. What? Trying to get my focus. I screwed up. There we go. Okay. There we go. Keep the focus going. Keep the focus going. All right. Now, we're going to jump in the, you know, it's been like an hour and 15 minutes, so we can jump in the comments. Do a little Q&A, talk, whatever. Appreciate y'all sitting through that. Even me making the camera go out of focus. Yeah, we here. Where we at? We just going to pick up right where we're at. Ty said, you should write a book. It's in the future. I want to. In the future, I want to. I really think, Ty, that there's a few more things that I need to go through or experience, because right now it's like, you know, I'm like, I want to write a book. I have some ideas, but I think the book has to be written here first, and I don't think that's happened yet. I feel like a couple of years from now, I'll be like, all right, book time. I just haven't got the feeling that it's time yet, but yeah, I would love to be able to do that one day. Put it down on paper. Yeah. Progressive wholesomeness. Thank you. Super Chat Squad. Appreciate the support. Says, hi, Tim. Any thoughts on the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case? I don't even know what that's about. Sorry, wholesomeness. I dislike when people send me money and I can't really answer the question, but I don't even know what that's about. Like I don't watch I don't be in the news like that. So yeah, I I don't know what's going on there. So no thoughts there. Sorry. KB Evers, I have a. Oh, it's in the closet. Dang it, I'm doing it again. Hold on. Sorry about the focus on this camera. How did I make it come back last time? Hold on. We're going to get this right, folks. We're going to get this. How do I make it focus? Focus. There we go. I got to remember not to move around so much. This camera can't take it. I was looking for my backpack. Yeah, I have a Canon G7X Mark II, which I'm about to upgrade soon. But yeah, I've had that for a couple years. Pretty good camera. I think the Mark III is out now, and it has some improvements. But I think, $600 is what I paid for it. But yeah, I got a Canon G7X Mark II. I used to just use my cell phone. Honestly, if you got a new enough cell phone, which most people do, you can just use your cell phone. You just get you a selfie stick and the little, adapter for your phone. You can use your phone. Like, yeah. Oh, where am I in the chat? Hold on. Hey, Theo, I appreciate you saying that. Theo said, yeah, the best lives on YouTube. Ooh, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Why does the American media popularize substances? To keep you in a daze. To keep you if you're talking about like drugs and things like that, I'd say to keep you in a daze, They don't want you thinking free. Like, I mean, it's not in the powers that be's best interest for you to be thinking clearly. Much better, much better for you to be like out your mind and think you're thinking clearly. Much better. Yeah. Tabozu, yes. I got a new webcam. Yeah, I got a new webcam. So I'm figuring out, trying to give you all a little better quality. What's for dinner, Aisha? I think I'm gonna try to tap into those HelloFresh meals I got in there. I opened the fridge today and they look so sad and pitiful just sitting there, and then they're in their brown paper bags. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to cook tonight. We'll see. Malik's at Africa this summer. I don't know about this summer, Malik. I would love to use the passport again, but I don't know if I'll be able to get Africa this summer. But it's on the list. Sustainable. So I really admire your point of view, Tim. Hey, thank you. He said, we can't handle them good looks. Thank you. Well, I feel like my the mouse button is the little rolly thing on your mouse is being weird. Colin said, I feel like I have so many things in my head that I could do, but I don't know how to decide on what thing would be the best. My advice in that one, Colin, would be just pick one. Here's the thing. If you can go around on that merry-go-round forever. That mental, I got so many things I want to do. I don't know which one would be the best one. That merry-go-round is free to get on. You can stay on as long as you like. That thing runs all day, all night. So the only way to get off that is to try something. Just pick one. Because here's the thing. Either that will be the thing and it will work out, or it won't be the thing and it won't work out, but that'll be one less thing in your head. And what typically happens is either you pick the right one, or in the picking the wrong one, it marks one off the list and then about 3 or 4 others. You'll learn something doing that will help you distinguish between the other 10 things on your list. So I always say just picking one and going for it is the only way, because other than that, you're just going to keep endlessly. So just, pick one, put your focus, your energy behind it, and either way you win because you get off that merry-go-round. Strange Pete, let's talk about this. Strange Pete said, if you think you get what you work for, and you have to earn what you get in this life, you're so clueless. There are 18-year-old models who are multi-billionaires just from being born pretty. I would argue that they did still have to work. Now, we obviously live in an unfair society, so some people work less and get more of certain benefits. Never going to say it's fair. The fact that a lot of us were born in countries where we can go to work and make, anywhere from $15 to $20 an hour, and other people live in countries where they make $1 a day, is unfair. So if we're going to start jumping on people who come from money and have more money, we got to jump on those of us who are born into money compared to other people. We love to play that game until we get to us. We love to play that. Oh, it's so unfair. They had so many advantages, but we always stop with us, and we don't look at the poor kid in Croatia who gets paid in potatoes every day and is never heard of a bank account or a cell phone. You know what I mean? So like, if we're gonna start playing that game, it never ends. But we also got to factor in that, like for example, people love to poop on the Kardashians. It's not Kim's fault that she had the foresight to put that tape out and flip it. There's a lot of people in that same situation would not be where she's at. The girl still works. That woman still works. Would you want a film crew following you around for 20 years? No, you probably lose your mind. You know what I mean? So like, I just don't like the ideal that it's funny. If LeBron was born with athletic ability and he gets in the gym and he's worked for the past his whole life to be where he's at. And a lot of other athletes. I love the WNBA, so I'm gonna say Skylar Diggins-Smith, same thing. She's got talent, works her butt off. She doesn't get paid what she should. So let's go back to LeBron. And nobody says anything. He was born with a talent, and he used that talent, practiced with that talent until he got good enough to ascend to the heights he ascended to. How is that any different than someone who was born with a talent? They're attractive, they're appealing, they got a nice body, whatever, and they flipped that into success, financial success. How's it any different? It's the same thing. We got to stop bashing on pretty people. They got their problems too. And once again, if you will notice the people in life who are a lot more, this is what I'm working with, let me see what I can do with it. Those people tend to be getting where they want to get, as opposed to the people who are looking at other people judging them. I'd much rather be hey, this is what I was blessed with. Let me figure out my talents. Let me use them to get where I want to go, as opposed to sitting around talking trash about what other people's talents are and how unfair you can. Okay, we're moving on. Rose said, the universe had a time machine we use to go back and fix things. No, nah. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy. I like my life. Like, what would I go? I wouldn't even know what to fix. Like, what would I fix? Like, yeah, I might mess something up trying to fix something. One more. We're keeping it positive, folks. One more. Praveen, thank you, Super Chat Squad. Praveen, I appreciate that. My boy Praveen said, I haven't donated in a while and hope to help you. Thank you. I appreciate the help. Appreciate the support. Thank you, Praveen. Good to see you, as always. Hey, acceptance is key. You're right, Kiana. Acceptance is key. Like, you got to accept, play with the cards you're dealt. Like, this idea, like, fair is a human concept. No animal in the animal kingdom roams around talking about fairness. Nah, when you see the lion coming, you get up out of there. If you're a gazelle and you sit around, well, it is not fair that the lion is faster than me. Its jaws are more powerful than me. You see a lion, you run. Okay, like this whole fairness thing. We like, of course, life's not fair. The universe isn't fair. No one ever said it, but it's not like you're born and someone's like, hey, a voice comes down and said, it'll be fair. Like, no, it's not fair. Come on. Praveen, you on your lunch break? Nice. Oh yeah, I've been waiting. I've been waiting to block this person. Oh, I was waiting. Sorry. When I get totally, back to enlightenment, I will not take joy in blocking people, but I was waiting to block that one. Oh, I was waiting for that one. But I think I've exercised a lot of restraint. The past 3 streams, definitely the past 2, I was like, that one's coming. That one's coming. Matt, you can't, like, me personally, I love Willow's music. Jaden makes some good music too. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't understand why we get so mad about other people being successful. If you were born Jaden Smith or Willow Smith, you do the same thing. I'm all for nepotism. If the person does a good job, like my dad owns a company, yeah, I'm gonna be the vice president one day. I'm gonna own it one day. Like what? Why else do you as a parent do what you do other than to like help your kids out? We all have been helped, hopefully, been helped out by our parents if they were able to. Why is it that like when celebrities help their kids out, it's a problem? But if your parents bought you your first car, it's about the same thing. Your parents buying you your first car is comparable to Will putting Jaden in a movie. You know what I mean? Like it's we get so worked up on what other people doing. Why? Let them do what they do. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I like Willow's music, so I'm happy she's up there. Jaden, he's made a song or two. His movies. Why do we care? At the end of the day, is that what's causing the problems in the world? That these rich kids are getting richer? No, come on. If it wasn't them, it'd be somebody else. Like I just don't understand the hate. Like I don't understand the hate. Of course there's advantages. I would never say there aren't advantages. Of course there's advantages, but we all have gotten advantages. Ours are just not like public. And no one ever talks about the people who, Gary Vee talks about this a lot. He knows rich people who will never feel like they really made it in life because their parents did help them out. Or everyone will always think they did. You come from a rich family and you come up with a business idea and it blows up. And instead of people be like, oh man, that was a great idea, people are always going to be for the rest of your life. Oh, his dad paid for that. His dad helped him out. His dad, blah, blah, blah. His mom helped him out. Like that gets some people down. Nobody talks about the rich people who blow their brains out in the basement, albeit a well-furnished basement. I mean, I don't know. We just have, I don't know. I just be doing stuff. I don't know. SDE Troy, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you. Says, hey, Tim, I'm 42 and finding it harder and harder to have friends. One day I woke up and realized all my close friends had lost contact over the years as they got married and had kids. Actually, me and Cyan, my roommate, were kind of talking about something like this the other day because both of us are single and kind of the same thing when it comes to, as your friends get older and they get married, they have kids, you drift apart. And like sometimes it really hurts when they're really good friends. But it's the nature of the thing. It's not fun. But like, I think the only fix is maybe to try. We may have to find new ways to try to find people similar to us if we still want some friends. The old methods we used to meet people worked a little easier because everybody was kind of on the same wavelength, But now that, you're getting older and people are, going more towards their family, their kids or whatever, the same methods of, you go to work and meet people, you're probably not going to, have anything in common with 80% of them. Whereas, 10, 15 years ago, you would. You'd have something in common with 60%, percent of them. So I think it's just the only thing is to, and I don't know the answer on how to do this, but I think the thing is to like, we may have to try harder to cultivate friendships and maybe actively be like, okay, where would a 42-year-old man or woman, no kids, not married, whatever, where would more people like that be? And how do I insert myself in that arena so I can meet some people? Or there's the other, which is kind of the route I take, is where, and I have friends, but I'm getting more and more, just used to it being me most of the time. and just realizing that's probably, I'm going to have a few core good friends, and 80% of the time I'm going to be alone, and I'm learning to be cool with that. But it helps because I'm an introvert. So I think it's either comes down to just kind of accepting, I'm not going to have friends, or really, really, really putting in that work to like try to get some friends. And I feel like the universe, it might only be one. The universe might send you 1.5 friends. But I think it's possible, but I think it's just hard. Yeah, it's harder as we get older because it's just less people out there looking for friends because they got family and stuff, on deck. Appreciate the love, Super Chat Squad. Thank you. Yes, the universe is not fair. No, why would it be? Fair is a human concept. The universe is not fair. If the universe was fair, no one person would get cancer and another not. Like, it's not fair. I don't think there's a scale up there and it's balancing. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You go through what you go through. You get what you get. It's not fair, but it is abundant. Like, in order for it to be abundant, it does not have to be fair. And there's so many aspects it could be fair in. You could be talking about financial. You could be talking about love. You could be. There's so many different aspects. It doesn't have to give everyone the same amount of love, everyone the same amount of money, everyone the same amount. Now, it could, on some higher level that we can understand, maybe balance out, but why? It doesn't need to. It doesn't need to, in my humble opinion. It is abundant, though, in that it can give you what you need. It can give you the life you want. It can help you to get, to live your dreams. But that doesn't mean that on some scale, my life has a directly balance with good and bad with someone else's. Because if you take it even a step further, things just are. We perceive things as good. We perceive things as bad. Things just are. So if things just are, okay, you could argue in that instance it is fair because things just are. If everything just is, there is no fair, unfair, because everything just is. We perceive whether it's good or bad. That's getting a little too deep into it. But the universe is abundant, yes. It doesn't have to be fair to be abundant. It can give me it can help me live the life I want to live at this level. And then it might help somebody live the life when they want to live, and then some. I'm still happy. You know what I mean? I'm still happy. Because maybe it gave that person the life they wanted to live and then some, because that and then some is what was helped they use that to help somebody else. Or maybe it put somebody through something that it didn't put me through, because the putting it through was what allowed them to have a breakthrough, that allowed them to do this, that help. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things at play going on. It doesn't need to be fair, especially not fair in a human sense. There's too much going on for it to seem fair to all of us. It doesn't need to be fair. But I think if you follow your dreams, and I can only speak from my example and others, I've talked to, but if you go after what you want in this life, you get help. You get help. I don't know why, I don't know how, but that just seems to be the way it works. You get help. I got a really good friend, and she's like, she's a full-time nomad, RVing, and she was like, things just always seem to work out. Just her and her dogs, travels full time. And she was like, I learned that whenever I need help prevents itself, is provided. She doesn't know from where it's going to come. She doesn't know when it's going to come, how it's going to come. Whenever she's needed help on the road, no matter what situation she's been in, magically help arrived. That's the universe. That's God, whatever you want to call it. That's abundance. Is it fair? Who knows? Like, if you start breaking it down, what is fair? Like, it's yeah, okay. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Hey, JT, thank you. I appreciate that. Super Chat Squad. Thank you, JT. Sorry it took me so long to get down there. I was on a rant. People say, maybe he's weird about you. How do you deal with that judgment? I want to be snapping sometimes. Good question, JT. Let me get a swig of this. I feel like I'm getting very deep there. Oh, camera came back. Okay. I got to work on that focus. Good question. I feel like, yes, there's definitely a lot of judgment when you live a life different than what it seems normal to the average person. For me, I'm so blessed to be able to live the life that I'm living. It really doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? Like I can't. Someone saying I think you're weird. I don't understand why you're living the way you want to live. Does nothing to me because I'm happy. Like, I mean, it just really doesn't. I really don't. Every now and then someone will say something that gets to me, but that's not one of the things. Oh, you're weird. Okay. You know, or people, people like to come in the comments and other things and point out things about my life, but I'm like, I'm happy. So like, you can't really come at me because the things that you're pointing out about my life are the things that led to me being where I'm at. And I like my life. I love my life. I'm happy. There are some days that I genuinely stop and I'm like, wow, like, thank you, you know, thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Thank you, past Tim, for putting in the work. Like, thank you. So when you're really like doing what you want to do and it resonates with you and you just love in the moment, so what if somebody doesn't get it? Like, it just doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't, call it right. It just doesn't, you know what I mean? What it'd be like if you like lasagna and you're eating lasagna and someone comes up and is like, oh, you're eating lasagna. That's disgusting. But I like lasagna. Like, you go eat what you want to eat. I'm over here killing my lasagna. I'm about to go get seconds. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, it just, the more I've just kind of done my own thing, the less it's kind of bothered me when people didn't understand. Cause like, I'm good. Like, I'm happy. Like, I don't know. It just does not compute. It's just, Tim's weird. I'm like, okay. Weird got me giggling. Weird has got me over here giggling. And then a lot of times I'll, take a peek back at the person who said it and I can understand why they're bitter. I'm like, yeah, bro, I see why you out here judging other people, calling people weird. I get it. I hope you get it together and change, but you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it just doesn't get to me. Super Chat Squad, though, thank you. Where am I? Oh, I'm bottom these comments. I gotta. Trying to get caught up in the comments. Appreciate all the comment going on in the chat. Raz says, why do I not let people get close to me to make friends? Am I that weird? Raz, I think sometimes, maybe past pains or hurts or, we put up walls. I don't think it's weird. I think a lot of people are like that. And if it doesn't bother you, now if it bothers you, you might want to figure out, what you can do about it to change that, bring those walls down. But like, if it don't bother you, you don't have to have friends in life. You don't have to have friends. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be in a relationship. You don't have to have friends. Whatever works for you, No problem, JT. I'm gonna respond, Lasagna is a multi-layered meal. Linda, it is. It's amazing. Linda said it's amazing to wake up and not be obligated to a 9 to 5. Preach. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate you saying that. Rico checking in. Native Babe, some people are mean. I try not to hate, but I feel you with your love of animals. I don't have that love, but some people, behave in a mean manner. But there's a lot of really nice people out there. Really nice people. I think if you focus on and believe that people are mean, you will keep running into mean people. or you will see the meanness in people. But if you focus on, hey, there's a lot of good people in this world, I think, once again, one of those things that just happens, you'll feel like every day you're getting bombarded by them good people. And even if someone's mean to you, you're just kind of like, yeah, might be going through something. Suppose I feel more confident when people call me weird. Exactly. It's a process. I think we all start out caring, but then over time, yeah, you just slowly stop caring. Like it just doesn't. You'll get to the point where like it doesn't even. Someone will say something. You'll surprise yourself about how you don't care. Someone will say something, or someone will tell you, "Oh, so and so said so," and you're just like, "So and so said so and so," and you're just like, oh, "Okay." Like it doesn't. Yeah, but it's a process. Soul searching. Appreciate you saying that. Said you got the best wisdom. Hey, thanks. We talk some stuff. We talk some stuff. Have you ever thought of going on a multi-day hike, like walking a coast or something? I wanted to walk across Florida one time. I'd love to go on like the Appalachian Trail or the Pacific Coast Trail. One of these days, it's just finding someone to do it with, finding the right crew to do it with. Lost said, I find it surprising that none of my colleagues find the 9 to 5 life as the most boring, mundane, and mind numbing experience of their life. I think some people, it doesn't occur to them that there's anything different or that there's anything different they could actually do. What is Thoreau said? People live lives of quiet desperation. I think some of them might feel that way, but they're never going to say it because they're just like, but that's probably why they go home and smoke weed and drink beer and yell at their spouse and, snort, white lines. I think, you know what I mean? Like, I think some people either never think about it. They just think, well, this is what it is, or they subconsciously think about it. And that's why, they turn to other things to get joy. But, I do appreciate that it seems like the younger generations are not going for it. It seems like the younger generations are not just falling in line like little lemmings to, do the whole graduate high school, go right to college, go right, get a job, work forever. They just don't seem like they're doing it. They're just not going for it in the same amount of numbers as like my generation did. So that makes me happy. Ladies first, yeah, there's a lot of us out here who are different. This whole community. Sister NV said, I'm living through you now. I'm living through you for now, Tim. Hey, appreciate you listening. Yeah. Daryl, here's a good one. It says, it seems like everyone I've ever met always takes advantage of you from family down. How can you find and tell who won't stab you in the back? That's a good question. And first off, sorry to hear. Sorry to hear like it's been like that for you. That's unfair. That was the wrong choice of words. We were just saying unfair. But that's not good. That's not right. Because the thing is, you can't make someone come into your life who's going to be there for you. It's kind of like dating. You can't make someone who come into your life who's going to work out. I do know that there are people like that out there, and you know what I mean. Like it's hard to say how to find them. I feel like I know for me, they just appeared one day. There's nothing really I did. You know what I'm saying? They appeared. And maybe it's just a matter of maybe the cross you have to bear is going through years of people who don't care. And then one day that one person or few people will appear that do genuinely care, and you will know it at your soul, and that will make up for it. All it takes is one person who is there for you and would, this will sound dramatic, but would give it all up for you. All it takes is one or two of them, and you're good. You can look back and laugh at all those other people. All it takes is one. And I think there's nothing we can really do other than maybe try to work on ourselves and make sure we warrant that type of love, friendship. But I feel like it's kind of one of the things when it happens, it happens. Like, there's nothing we can really do about it. But yeah, it sucks when you can't find it. Joseph, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Joseph coming through again with his own personal Super Chat train. Said they laugh at me because I'm different. I laugh at them because they're all the same. Yolanda VC from Diane Wood. Yes. Yes. Good group, by the way. Diane Wood. Yolanda VC. Yeah, good quote, good quote. Thank you, Super Chat Squad. Laugh at me because I'm different. I laugh at them because they are all the same. I feel sorry for them because they're all the same. Thank you, Joseph. There's a Colorado Trail? Oh. Ray, your ex-Greyhound driver? That awesome, awesome. So I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Denver Broncos game in the fall, Kiana. Let me know when you coming through. When you coming through. I wouldn't mind going to a Broncos game. Walk across Florida the long way, native babe. From the Keys to Georgia. Yeah, the short way wouldn't take that long. That'd still be a walk, though. KJ Verse. Thoughts on life after death? First off, I'll say none of us will ever know. Could ever know. I won't say we'll never know. None of us could ever know until we actually die. So I have, a belief that makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside and helps me kind of live the life I want to live. But I'll be the first to know I could be totally wrong. I could be totally off base. I just kind of view it as I'm an energy being who's currently experiencing what it's like to be a human on the planet Earth. And when I die, when this body shuts down, the energy that is me, that is animating this body, will just go somewhere else. Pretty simple. I'm trying to manifest being a moonbeam over the planet Zarthon, but who knows? I might come back to this planet as a human or a dog. I'll probably come back as like a dog because I talk so much crap about like pets. Maybe I'll come back as a wild dog because I don't want none of y'all owning me. Trap me in the house and taking me out for walks when you get off work and you're in a bad mood. Not doing it. Well, I'll do whatever the universe has me do. But yeah, I just think I'm energy. Energy can't die. So like when this body that I've been given for this part of my existence breaks down, that energy just goes somewhere else. And that helps me to not get really too worked up. Like I want to live this life to the fullest. I want to experience as much of this planet, as much of this world as possible during the years I'm granted to be here. But I don't get all worked up about it ending. I would be sad to leave behind some of the relationships I've established on this planet with people, with, nature. But like, I believe everyone's the same. So I might run into the same energy somewhere else. I think there's people I know now that our energies, were together before, crossed paths before. So that's the way I look at it. I'm not this body. I've been given this body. It's like an avatar. I've been given this body to experience what it's like to be on Earth. I'll live for 80, 90, 100 years in this body, and then it'll go back to the dust from which it came, and I'll move on. Very simple. And it allows me to not get all worked up about, appearance and achievement. And I just like to do things that I'm just trying to experience this life. I become a moonbeam on the planet Zarthon. I'll experience what it's like to be a moonbeam, with the struggles and the ups and downs that come with that, So yeah, that's my thoughts on life after death. But once again, I want to round that out by saying that could be totally wrong. And I could die and be like, ooh, I was wrong. KB Evers, I'm definitely an introvert. And I have not done the Myers-Briggs personality test because I really don't care. Like people ask me all the time. I don't care. I know my personality, so I don't really need it labeled. Now, for some people, apparently it helps them to whatever. But I'm like, I know my personality because it's my personality, so I don't really need a label on it. Me personally, but y'all know me. I'm weird. Uh, where am I in these comments? I gotta make sure I'm not too far behind. I might have to do some skipping, ladies and gentlemen. I get behind in the comments. Sorry if I missed your comments. Crypto Johnny, I do have on my video about crypto. The one I did, I do have my. I think I've done a couple, but I do have my referral code. Yeah. I've actually been getting some free Bitcoin. So yeah, we on top of it. We on top of it. Elixir, you'd love to be a dog? Okay, I feel you. I don't mind reincarnating in China. I'll reincarnate anywhere. It don't bother me. I'll just experience what it's like to be Chinese. Y'all not gonna get me to poop on any country or any people. Nope. I was at the Chinese restaurant today. Love me some Chinese people. We just have to, somebody's gotta, y'all not gonna, y'all, nope. Hey, whatever it is, it's how we gonna get through it. Might be my best life ever. I'd like to think I'm a bit of stoic, Richard. You know, would I buy a horse to Bozu? Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Oh, in China, you don't want to. Oh, okay. I see. Okay, you're relating to the dog comment there. I got you. That's probably a myth too. Have I seen the video, the egg? Basically, this you live every single life of every single person that's ever existed. We are all one. Pretty cool thought. I've heard people talk, like Alan Watts has mentioned that before. The ideal that you're everyone living everyone's life. That's two. That's two. That's two. It's too easy to be nice, folks. It's too easy to be nice, folks. I police the chat. You can't get on here multiple streams being rude or nah. Sometimes I'll do the timeout thing, but if you on here being rude and negative, not here, not here. Other places fine, but not here, not here. Daryl, I have an apartment. You saw 4 black people riding horses in Indiana? Okay. They riding horses in bad neighborhoods? Hey, it's 2022. It's 2022. Gas is up. Gas is up. They out here stealing horses. No, I'm joking. Is it like a urban area? They got horses. The gas in Colorado isn't bad. Like I really haven't. I think it's like $3.90 something. Like which is not, to my mind, terribly crazy. So, the rent is. I mean, the rent is on par for. The rent is what you'd imagine. Is it higher than it should be? Yeah, but there's high and then there's astronomical. Expect to pay $1,500 to $2,000 for a 2-bedroom. But it could be worse. It could be worse. So like it's and the pay is decent in Denver. A lot of work in Denver. So the pay is decent. You can make it. You know, you may have to get a roommate like I did, but you can make it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Alan Watts is a huge inspiration to me. KB Evers, yeah, huge inspiration. I literally used to listen to Alan Watts every day. I've listened to almost everything he has on the internet, so I don't listen to him as much just because I've listened to them all. But yeah, huge inspiration. I'm listening to a lot of Ram Dass now. Osho, a big inspiration. Sid Guru. Um, Gary Vaynerchuk is another big one. Jim Rohn, you know. Just the truth. So this is by far one of the realest channels. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. We try. We try. Yeah, Joseph. Yeah, they'll do. You can get 18 starting out here in at pretty easy here in Denver. So you know, it's good enough to like I said, you may have to still get a roommate, but it's better than some places where the rent is not low enough. Is not enough. You know what I mean? I've been places where you know the rent is only a few $100s cheaper than that, but they start you out at like $12 an hour. You know, those type of job. You know, so yeah. Ken, I found my roommate. It's my buddy Cyan. He's been on the channel before. We've worked together at a couple seasonal. We met through seasonal work. So actually, it was watching my videos that got him into seasonal work, and then we met at the YMCA of the Rockies, and actually lived together up in Estes Park before. We both worked out at Big Sky Resort for a little while before. We were roommates out there. So when he said he was here and looking for a roommate, I was like, you know what? I can do that. I can do that. So yeah, I met him through seasonal work. Pretty much all my friends now currently I met through seasonal work. I like that law. All goes back in the box. It's like Monopoly. You acquire a lot of stuff. When it's time to go, it all goes back. It's a game. It's a game. It's a game. Like none of this means anything. It definitely doesn't. It's definitely not important. Like people try to make it. Oh, I have to achieve success. I have to do that. You see kids in the 20s ready to jump out a window because they haven't achieved a certain level of success by 24. It doesn't mean anything. That success that you're going after, the people who get it and you have the same eventuality. It all goes back in the box. You move on. Like it doesn't mean nothing. It's come on. It's a game. Play it how you want to play it. Linda, I use a website called coolworks.com. I'll put it in the chat real quick. The reason I'm pulling it up is because I want to put the link to the state I want everybody to go work in. I want to put that link. I want to put the Alaska link. But coolworks.com is how I find my seasonal jobs. And you know, these aren't seasonal jobs like Macy's for the wintertime or UPS for Christmas. These are like really cool jobs and some really cool places. So like Alaska. I'm gonna reach out to one of these Alaska seasonal jobs and tell them if they they ain't gotta fly me up there. If they give me a place to stay for a week, I'll do a video telling people to come work for them. I might actually do that. We're not talking about eating the rich because like there will always be rich and powerful people. Every single revolution you've ever seen, the revolutionaries got rid of the rich and powerful, and then they became the rich and powerful. They just tore the cover off the playbook from the people they deposed, put their own cover on the playbook, then used the same playbook. You can get all worked up about the rich, but I promise you, if all the rich went away tomorrow, next year there'd be a new crop of rich. It's human nature. Greed is the problem. Until you get rid of greed, if you could tell me that they could isolate the strand in our DNA that makes us greedy, let's go. But until then, you're always going to have rich and powerful. They're always going to take advantage of the people under them. A lot of times, I mean, I say always, but a lot of times they're going to take advantage of the people under them who have less than them or less power than them. That's the way it's been since the beginning of time. So that's why I personally don't get all worked up. Like I said, I'm just an energy being experiencing what it's like to be human. And I'm noticing, these humans keep doing the same thing over and over again. I'm not going to spend my limited years here worried about it. I try to do the best for mine and help people, but if I can identify a pattern, I'm not going to jump out the window trying to stop something. It's in line with the pattern. It's what humans do. Flora Rebelli, I've done I do seasonal housekeeping jobs. That's what I personally done. At hotels, ski resorts, national parks, things like that. Yeah, Rico, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Just because early man was tribal doesn't mean they weren't greedy, that there wasn't greed. I do feel like they had it a lot better back then. But there was still greed back then. Or let's just say there wasn't. What changed then? What changed? If you're right, an early man who were tribal creatures were not greedy, what changed? To make us be greedy from whenever it changed until now. Tell me what changed and how we can change it back. I'll go along with you. Because it's the same thing. Saying it's our nature, or saying, it's in our nature now, but it wasn't in our nature, the first 10,000 years, is basically the same thing. Unless you can tell me what changed. The power structure changed because people got greedy. So what made them change the power structure? It's the same. We're asking the same questions here. I'm not gonna play this game no more. I enjoy the back and forth though. No, I don't post any freelance gigs on Fiverr or Upwork. I don't do any. I would much rather create content like in this way. That's just really not my thing. Rebecca, I have a mail forwarding service in Florida. That is my official address, or has been for years. And it gives me it's actually a company that has like a big warehouse, and they accept my mail for me and a bunch of other people, but they give me a mailing address. So I put that on all my applications. That way, I'm getting blown up. That way, all my W-2s and stuff go to one central address. But honestly, when you're filling out an application, other than them mailing you your W-2, which most companies don't anymore, it doesn't matter. You could put 221B Baker Street, London, England, which is Sherlock Holmes's address, and they wouldn't care. Like in 2022, nobody cares about address. The only reason I do is in case they mail my W-2s. But yeah, I have a mail forwarding service, so I have a one central address that it costs me like $13 a month. And yeah, they just take all my mail, and then when I want it, I send for it. Have I ever met a narcissist? I don't know. I'm not on this big everybody's a narcissist, especially men kick. Like people do what they do. Like, if they are a narcissist, I'm probably not going to kick it with them. Like, I don't go around with the label gun labeling people like everybody else does. So it doesn't make my day to call somebody a name. So maybe I have, maybe I haven't, maybe I've been one, maybe I don't know. I don't really know. Next car, if I'm finished with the Prius, I don't know. I don't even want to. I don't want to put it out in the universe that I would have a next car because I don't want my Prius to pick up on that energy and then break down on me. So I love my Prius. I currently have no plans. I currently have no plans in motion to get a new one, so we'll leave it there. I don't want to put the wrong energy out there. Brian, I don't smoke. I don't. I trust me. I miss there being something I could take to like chill out. One of the things I liked about drinking was it made me forget. You smoke weed sometime. I do miss the fact that there's really nothing, no substance I allow myself to take anymore that can kind of like, but I pride myself on that as well. You know what I'm saying? Like I pride myself on the fact that I'm getting through this life sober. I pride, and not saying like there's anything wrong with the other way, but it's just something I take pride in is that like, hey, I'm getting through this life. I'm having to do it up here without any like outside substance other than like caffeine. So I pride myself on that. When it comes to morning job, what hours I like working, I'm a get in there early, get out, man. I love like 7:30 to 3:30 because I get up early anyway. I'm up at like 6 o'clock, 6:30. I'm a 7:30 to 3:30 type of guy. Is that 8 hours? 7 to 3, maybe 7 to 3:30. But I'm that guy. I'm that guy. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to jump off. I said today I was only going to go for like 2 hours. I got some other things I got to do this evening. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. This is a great stream. The numbers were amazing. Started off, there was like 20 some people in the chat in the beginning. We got it up to over 300 at certain times. That's huge. That's huge for this channel. So I appreciate everybody coming through, showing love. New people, usual suspects, people been here a medium amount of time. Big shout out to the Super Chat squad. Everyone who joined the Super Chat train really does help with the motivation to keep the channel going. Also helps to pay some of the bills. So I appreciate that so much. Everyone who hit the like button, a lot of likes, like 324 likes. That's amazing. Really helps with the algorithm. Anybody who's coming in late, there's always the playback, of course, but hey, we're smack dab in the beginning / middle of our 1 week with Ward, 7 days, 7 live streams. We've got 5 more coming in the next 5 days, so stay tuned. And every morning I'll try to drop, the schedule of what the next one's going to be, when it's going to come. The earlier the stream is going to be, the earlier I'll drop that. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. Peace and blessings to all of you. I love each and every one of y'all. I mean that. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.